Hello everybody, my name is Julian and welcome to another Dev Diary. This is a big one. This is about fishing and the whole fishing update, as well as showing you some cool little stuff in the future like rafts and some things we're working on. But yeah, look, I've got a pretty jet-packed video and there's a lot more that changed in the game other than just fishing. We added all sorts of like hit effects and also like screen shaking and death effects. The backpack now drops when you die. There's Steam Cloud save support. There's a whole bunch of stuff that actually changed in the game that I'll go over throughout this video. And starting, let's obviously start with the fishing. When you first load into the game, you may notice there are some little changes. The little raft campsite area is now different. There's a sleeping bag and a little sort of campfire that you can light. And if I hack in some dev console commands, I can sort of show you what this looks like. You can light the little fire, the same little chest, all the same stuff is there. It's just sort of like, I guess, expanded apart and sort of made it a little bit clearer and easier to see. And there's little crabs on the beach. These are just for looks, but they do react to the player, so you can sort of move them around. And if you annoy them too much, then they sort of dig themselves down into the sand and disappear. But we're sort of working on adding a lot more little details and bits of life within the world step by step, and the crabs is one of those little things. But there is a new little fishing shack. Ignore that little raft thing floating. I'll talk about that later, but there is a fishing shack now. There's all different kinds of fish, from trout to sardines to swordfish, fugu, anglerfish, all sorts. And you can catch these fish in all different locations on the map, but it also includes a new fishing rod and then also a new weapon, a new type of sword that you can also get, which is called the fish stick. And you need to purchase the fishing rod and the sword from the fisherman shack here. So fishing works anywhere you can see water. You can catch a fish and cast out a line anywhere in water, but then there's specifically little fishing pools that you'll find throughout the world, and these fishing pools grant you the ability to catch special fish within those pools. So I can just stand on the beach here and just cast anywhere, and I'll catch things like sardines and sort of like lower tier fish out in the ocean. And then I can also find little ponds. For example, here's one of the ponds on the island, and you'll see faintly under the water there's a little sort of swarm of fish circling, or a school of fish circling in the pond there. And you'll see these circles throughout little ponds, throughout the caves, and also throughout the ocean. Some ponds are a little bit, the circles are a little bit easier to see in certain areas, but different circles, depending if it's in a pond or in the ocean or down in the caves, will have different types of breeds of fish that you have the possibility to catch. So there is a whole little mini game attached to fishing, and we actually went through a few iterations of the mini game. We released fishing and got feedback straight away that it was a little bit too difficult. So on the left is the new version of fishing, on the right is what we originally launched. The easiest thing to sort of distill from this is on the left, the timing is a little bit easier and a little bit more consistent, and that's what we have now. And then on the right, it was a lot more abrupt, inconsistent with quicker windows. So we've made the fishing, dialed it back, made it a bit more easier to simply fish in the game, because we just simply made it too difficult for most people. But there's various fishing spots all throughout the world. There's a fishing pond in the nice birchwood forest where you can catch some rainbow trout, and there's also fishing spots in the caves. I'm not going to show you how to get to this fishing spot because there's also another one. So there's various fishing spots in the caves, and you will find little glowy anglerfish that you can actually catch. And if you eat the anglerfish, there is also a really cool effect that's a brand new effect added into the game, because we have a whole new status effect system. So when you eat all of the fish in the game, as well as some of the original food items like bread, you will notice this completely new status effect pops up. And there's a lot that's been added into the game, not just fishing. This is actually quite a significant update outside of fishing. But before I get into some of the other changes, I'd really like to show you something that we've been working on behind the scenes, just to sort of get you all excited. So we're back on the island and heading back to the fishing shack, and what I told you to sort of ignore before was that little raft. That's because this raft isn't actually in the game. I placed it here just for this video, and this is a really early draft of an actual working boat in the game. So ignore all the animations and sometimes the water going through the raft and stuff like that. But in essence, this is a working boat. It's a fully working boat system with an also brand new buoyancy system. Okay, I don't think I can get it. No, I'm going to beach myself here. I'm going to need to reverse out. So basically what this enables is island travel, and island travel is going to be a very, very significant part of Lens Island and the future of Lens Island. We have some big plans, like I mentioned in other videos, but I wanted to sort of show this in a bit more of a tangible way to everybody, because you'll be able to fish off boats like I'm doing right now, and fishing and just generally exploring into the ocean will be a very significant part of Lens Island in the future. There's going to be underwater caves and coral reefs and shipwrecks and all sorts of stuff, and you'll be able to build and explore and find items, potentially even find pets, a whole bunch of stuff. I don't want to go into it too much, but really just sort of, I guess, inspire all of you, and not only talk about where fishing is right now, but also talk about fishing in the future, because what Lens Island will look like in the future is not just one island, but there will be dozens and dozens and dozens of islands. And I've also forgotten that I left a big ramp here. So I was being like Evel Knievel before and testing out the boat physics, and I guess I'll show you all what I was doing. Let's drag up the acceleration and some of the stats on the boat, and we'll try and jump the bridge again because we've been doing a lot of testing. There's been a lot of testing with the boats and everything, trying to make a system, and yeah, now I've got a speedboat raft, and let's see if we can jump this ramp. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I can't promise you'll be able to do that or do drifts. I can't promise you can do any of this in the final game, but boats will be implemented at some point. Maybe we'll have drift boats in the future of Lens Island, who knows. Although, jumping back to what's already in the game, is screen shakes and hit effects. We've actually worked to refine the combat a little bit, a lot of the visuals and feedback and feel of the combat. So there is now a screen shake effect that will happen whenever you land a hit. It's more intense if you land a critical hit, and then it's also like lands for gathering hits as well. There is also a whole new backpack drop system on death. So right now I'm just collecting some resources in the caves, and what this does is it will drop any new resources you gained since your last save. So it auto saves in between scenes now, it auto saves regularly throughout the game. So pretty much if I enter the caves, go on a big journey and then die like this, you can also see the all new, the low HP screen effect on the side of the screen there. That also is a brand new thing. But if I was to die in the caves, pretty much all the resources that I gained since entering the caves will actually be in a little backpack that'll drop on the ground for me that I can go and pick up and reclaim all those same resources. At the moment, there's only one backpack. So if you die, you lose a chance to get that backpack back, though we're thinking of re-leveling it and making it so you can have multiple. We'll see how we go. On top of this, we also enabled cloud saving, so you can now sync up all of your gameplay files between Mac and PC and also other PCs. So it works cross-platform and cross-computer, and it also works per Steam account, so you can have multiple Steam accounts on the one PC. We made a full blog post, which you can actually go onto our website, which I'll link below. I'll link directly to the Fishing Update blog, which you can read all of the full changelog because there was a lot that changed in the game. So that's it for the Fishing Update Dev Diary. I will sort of say that there's going to be a bit of a quiet period simply because of the scale of features we're currently working on. The whole team has been really hard at work making some really significant new features. I'm not going to go into like a ton of detail because I would rather show everybody them in person once they're a little bit more ready. But I'm talking about like random map generation, new gameplay modes, like big, brand new, really, really exciting features that I haven't talked about before. So there is a lot coming this year in Lens Island. It's going to be a very, very big year, especially towards the end of this year. And I can't wait to show you all and take you along that ride and just bring you a really, really cool game that is so much better than what it is now. So I hope you have an amazing day, everybody. Stay tuned, stay in the loop, and I'll see you in the next Dev Diary.